Kerry. My name is Kerry Brown, and I am a seasoned business coach. In fact, they call me the Small Business Expert. And on my episodes, I cover tips and strategies and give you resources and information to help you be more successful in your business. Because chances are you're a small business owner and maybe a solo entrepreneur, and you're juggling all the balls in the air. You're trying to determine what to work on at any given time. And this is the place. This is the place for you to get that information. In fact, come and join me every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Pacific, for Hangout with Coach Kerry. You can also find past episodes at hangoutwithcoachkerry.com. So today, we're continuing on the whole idea of a marketing plan. And one thing I want to address is that marketing plans sound very boring, like business plans. And if you are like most business owners, you're so busy moving things, you're so busy trying to find customers, you're so busy handling all the financing, the thought of stopping and slowing down and working on something called a plan doesn't sound very exciting or very inspiring. So today what I want to do is I want to give you some information to really inspire you to do this and to do even some of the pieces of it, so that all of the efforts that you're making are strategic, that you are hedging your bets, that the best chances of you spending your valuable resources, that's your time and your money, that you're spending those, that you're going to get the results that you want from them. So today I'm joined by 3 of my Academy members as my VIP panelists today, and I would like to have them introduce themselves to you. So Bonnie, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Kerry. Mitchell, and I own Mitchell Creative. So I'm a boutique graphic designer, graphic design company, and I work with businesses worldwide to help them visually communicate their expertise to the people that they wish to do business. So I also help these people be successful in business by creating a complete complement of marketing materials so that their salespeople will need. And you can find me at www.bonniemitchell.ca.
Great, thanks, Bonnie. Kathy, over to you.
Sorry about that. Am I on, Kerry?
You are.
So sorry, a little technical glitch just there. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kathy Scott, and I have a lovely company called Niche Travel, and I create unique custom tours for women all over the world, and we go to wonderful, inspiring places. They include tour hosts such as you, Kerry, so we'll have you going to the Baltic region very shortly, and you can find me at nichetravel.ca.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks, Kathy. And Diana, Dr. Diana, tell us about you.
Thank you, Kerry. I'm Dr. Diana Galbraith, as Kerry mentioned, and my company is First Get Healthy. And what I do, well, I'm a former family physician, and what I've seen is, you know, the medical profession, they do really well when you're really, really sick, but what about when you just feel tired, or you've got achy joints, or, you know, all those little things that we deal with day to day. And what I find is women, particularly in the business field, they spend so much time and energy on their business and often to the neglect of their health. And so what I do is I really help them work through that and come up with a really doable plan so that they can get their health to where it wants to be before they start to suffer from serious diseases. And so I really help them get back on the course of more energy, feeling great, and just having the health that they want.
And Diana, how can they find you?
They can find me, actually, I'm in the process of changing my website, so I'm actually going to send them to firstgethealthy.com, and that will be up and running within the next few weeks. So
good, excellent, good. So firstgethealthy.com, great.
Yes. I'll change my banner.
Okay, so everyone, so today our topic is how to set yourself apart from the competition, and this is an important piece because I'm going to assume that you are in some kind of an industry, in a business, where you have some kind of competition. Whether it's local or whether it's online, whatever it happens to be, that there's competition. So it's important to set yourself apart from them so that customers or clients, when they're looking for you, they can see how you are different, what sets you apart. So today what I want to do is I'm going to have my panelists ask me some direct questions about this, and then we'll move into the coaching piece in this. So Bonnie, why don't I start with you? What's your first question for me?
Okay. I'm unmuted. Okay, good. I understand that it's important to stand apart from the competition, but what would be the first steps to set myself apart from the competition?
Great question. And that really leads me into really our topic today, which is to take some time and do a bit of some research. It breaks my heart, truly, when I hear about small business owners, or I have clients that have spent an enormous amount of time and energy on marketing strategies, ways to get clients in the door, expensive advertising, and the phone doesn't ring and there are no clients. Because what that usually tells me is they haven't done that, some of these pieces we've been talking about. So in our, other episodes, look for topics on marketing, and it'll all give you the pieces that all fall together. So this particular one is doing an analysis called a SWOT analysis. SWOT. So not SWAT. We're not going to go in with gear and all dressed in black and we're a SWAT team. This is called SWOT, SWOT, and it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I'll repeat that again. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this is part of you putting together this strategic plan you have for your marketing. Because without that, it's random, it's haphazard. That when someone phones you and asks you to invest your money in some particular charity event or marketing medium, you go, oh, okay, and off you go. So we want to be much more strategic about it, because I want you to spend your money and get a return on your investment. So SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So I'm going to go through these 4 different areas, and I'm going to give you some specific things that you're going to be looking for. So the first one is, in your SWOT analysis, is that strengths piece. And this is where you really want to ask yourself these questions. What currently right now sets you apart from your competition? And if this is a question that you haven't asked yourself yet, then this is a really good starting question. What sets you apart from the competition? This is your differentiator. This is what makes you unique. And it can even be you. That you're the piece in your business. But why? What is that unique piece about you? Then the next question is to ask yourself, still under this area of strengths, is what do you do well? And really understand what it is you do well. Because you see, it's really important that you narrow your focus in business versus trying to cast a wide net. And I know we've talked about this on other episodes as well. It sounds a bit counterintuitive to narrow your niche, but we want to make sure that you're really clear what you do well, and that can be what sets you apart. So these are your strengths, and you want to be able to take a look at this information and start capturing it so that you can use this information. The next one is, what do your customers like about you? And your customers may be already telling you what they like about you. So make sure you're documenting this and you're writing this down. So you've got this. What is it they like about you? Is it the technical work that you do? Is it the way you package everything together? Is it the fact that you help them sift through all the information that's out there and narrow it down? Is it that you inspire them? Whatever it is, what do your customers like about you? And if you're unclear of that, then your next step is to start asking them. So what is it that you enjoy about working with me? Find out that question, because that's a really, really key one. So that's the first one, which is strengths. Then the second one is weaknesses. And this is sometimes tough because, it can be tough, or sometimes we focus on this more than we do on our strengths. So this is about having a balance of those. So your first one is, what does your competition say about you? That's a good question, isn't it? What does your competition say about you? What are they better at than you are? What are they better at than you are? And then from that, what can you do to get better? Because there's absolutely no sense in spending your time and your money driving people to your website, to your phone, to your email of inquiries when there's areas that maybe are lacking in your business, that you need to shore up, that you need to do better. So it's a really good way for you to take that analysis of yourself. Then the next question is, well, opportunities. Okay, what opportunities are out there that you could take advantage of that maybe right now no one is? So this is when you're taking a look at your marketplace, your industry, and saying, there's definitely a need there. Is that being served? If it's not being served, how could you go about doing that? So that's a key piece to make sure you've got that determined, that you've got that figured out. So again, where are there opportunities there for you? Industry changes a lot. You look at as a part of a business plan, you take a look at what the political environment is. You take a look at what the economic environment is. You look at changes in technology and all of that. And sometimes the biggest wins are the people that are the innovators, who see those opportunities changing and say, oh, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to be either first to market or right at the beginning of market on that particular strategy or that particular way I can take that to the marketplace. It can even just be, how about you go delivering your material? Maybe there's new ways you can do that. Rather than doing the same old, what can you do that will be different? So I'm going to challenge you on that question. Then the last one is the threats. And this is where you want to take a look at, what are the warning signs in the industry? Are things changing and maybe you're not aware that the industry is shrinking? Or maybe there's a change in people doing more DIY, do it themselves, whatever your product or service there is. So what are those warning signs? And you want to take advantage of that because you want to pay attention to your industry. Follow the trade journals and follow the publications to your business. Don't get complacent is really the question, or using the proper language is be proactive. Be proactive. Complacency is a really difficult place because there's a lack of innovation, there's a lack of ingenuity in it. So in those threats, take a look at what's happening in the industry and how can you be aware of that and prepare yourself for that. That's a really, really key piece. So those are the 4 areas: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So Kathy, what's your question that maybe has arisen out of what I've said so far?
Great information, Kerry, but I guess the question would be, where do I start? Where do I find this information?
Great question. Well, one of the first ones is, of course, trade publications. So look at those. The newspaper, your local newspaper. Look at watch what your competition's doing. Go to their websites. Track their websites. Go, like their page on Facebook. Go to their Google Plus profile. You kind of stalk them in a way to find out that. You can even so much as sometimes phone the business and ask some questions. Ask other people what they think about that particular company. What's their impression of it? What do they think that they do really well from it? So there's a whole lot of ways that you can go about doing it. It's a multi-pronged approach to it because depending upon the industry and how much information is available, you'll get more, you'll get less. Of course, there's also business predictors that are out there. So you look at small business communities. Your chambers will often have information on where you think trends and opportunities are. So you really want to take a look at that and is it a growing industry? Is it declining? If it's growing, which direction is it growing? Because there may be some opportunities for you in that. So Kathy, just give me an example for you, just to see if this made sense for you. Where would you then, based on what I said, go to find the information to be able to do this SWOT analysis?
We've got some great industry trade publications, so and they're usually pretty up to date with what's happening out there. So I think that's a good place to start.
Great, good. And then look for other people who are doing, something sort of somewhat similar to you. Watch them, watch what they're doing, watch what they're innovating. So there's some opportunities that are there. So great. And that's a great question, because I think our audience today is probably wondering, okay, this is all good. Now where do I go next? So that's really key. So Dr. Diana, what's your question for me this morning?
Well, okay, once you have all this information and you've gathered it all together, now what do you do with that? How do you best apply it? Like now you've got it, let's use it.
Yeah, great question. Because the last thing I want to do is have you waste your time doing anything that isn't going to that isn't going to get some benefit for you, or ROI, return on investment. That's a really key piece. Well, the first thing is, remember, we're looking at using a SWOT analysis in the context of a marketing plan. You can also do a SWOT analysis like this in the context of a business plan, where actually what you'll do is you'll identify a couple of other competitors and you'll basically look at what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. You'll do that as well. So now you've got this information, which is your question. What do you do with it? Well, the very first thing from a marketing plan standpoint is the messaging you're going to use. If you've determined that there's an opportunity there that isn't being taken advantage of, and you are going to be the one to do it, what a great opportunity for you to be able to use that in your messaging. You may have realized it's an area to innovate, that there's a need in the marketplace by taking a look at this, and this is where you're going to innovate and set you apart. Certainly that question about what makes you unique and what your customers like about you will help you in all of that information, from your taglines to your messaging to the way you interact with people out there in the marketplace. All of this will help you put together this marketing plan, which we're going to be talking about next week, about strategies and tactics. How are you going to take this information now to the marketplace? Determine what campaigns you're going to do. So all of this information will fuel all of that messaging and all of that strategy. It might even reveal some ways to get your message out that you may not have even considered before. When you're taking a look at what your competition's doing, there may be some things you go, oh wow, okay, well, how could I use that? How could I maybe innovate my strategy here a little bit and utilize that as well? So it really is fundamental for the basis of your marketing plan to really get clear on what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how can you shore that up? What can you get stronger at? What do you need to do so that you would ask yourself that question in 3 or 4 months again, that would not be a weakness of yours? Be really clear on what those opportunities are, because then you can get that messaging out to the marketplace, and you can then capitalize on that. And of course, that weaknesses piece is really to take a look at where you need to shore up, and then at the end of it, what are those threats that are out there. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, really key piece to planning forward. In fact, I would say that if you did nothing else other than, of course, decide what are your campaigns going to be in terms of planning, this is a really good piece to stop and just take a look at. And at the end of the day, doing the analysis of yourself doesn't take a lot of time. Sure, researching your competition, being aware who your competition is a key piece. And that's just good business to know where you sit in the marketplace. That's just really good business to know what they're doing that's different than you, what makes you unique, what makes them unique. So that's a differentiator that's there. So why don't we open up to all the panelists right now and see, does anyone else have another question for me with respect to doing this kind of analysis and how you could use this as in terms of you're putting together some kind of a plan for your marketing? Any questions? You can unmute yourself, you guys, and ask me a question.
I don't know that it's a question, but I think it's very helpful. Just I love the reminder to look at what our competition is doing and really learn from that. I think that was really, really beneficial.
Great, excellent, good, thank you, thank you. So maybe if you don't have a question, how about an aha? So our audience might help cement for them what they've learned today as well. That would make it beneficial for them. Kathy?
Well, I think for me, Kerry, working out of a home office, I sometimes can get trapped in the the situation where I'm just doing my own thing and I keep on going, and to actually sit back and do the SWOT analysis, I think probably more than once a year would be a really great idea, because it would keep me current with what's going on out there, and so I don't become complacent.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Good, good. And Bonnie, how about for you?
For myself, I think it's a good reminder to always check what opportunities are out there. Because I'm in the same boat as Kathy. I work in a home office, and it is very easy to sort of get caught up in your own world. So yeah, definitely looking at the opportunities that are out there a little closer. Great,
good. So I'm going to challenge everyone then to take some time this week and look at that, because next week when we talk about the actual strategies and tactics you're going to use, you might have uncovered an opportunity there that you want to capitalize on, and so we can talk about that. So I'm going to challenge you to do that. So a couple of pieces I just want to do as we wrap up here. Remember, marketing is the key. It's the top of the funnel. If we're going to look at it in terms of your business model, your marketing strategies are what bring leads. That's your lead generation into your business. That's customers or potential customers, potential clients for you. Then, of course, what you do is you convert them from your marketing, all your marketing efforts, into becoming clients. And we will devote some episodes on some sales strategies, because I bet you when I say sales, you start thinking, oh, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be too salesy. So we're going to talk about that. Then, because that's really important, all the time and energy you're spending on marketing strategies, if your system for converting those leads into sales is weak, or the process you're using isn't converting people as many as you'd like, then we need to take a look at that, of course. Then from that, then customer service strategies. That's a really key piece. And customer service is when you're actually first interacting with that potential client, during the transaction or during the time you're working with them, and then post. What is it that you do to keep connected with them in a post? And then that, of course, ends up being an excellent marketing strategy as well. In fact, you may take a look at it and say what you do really well is customer service. And I'm going to challenge you to think, when you rate that, is that pre, during, and post as well? And then, of course, it gets into our financial management strategies and human resources, hiring, outsourcing, people who are doing work for you, whatever that might happen to be. Remember, marketing's all at the top of it. That's the funnel. And that's why it's really key that you get marketing strategies that are working for you and getting the results you need. So rather than just throwing it against the wall and hoping something will stick, like you do when you're trying to test out whether pasta's al dente or not, what we want to do is do it a little more strategically. We want to be a little smarter about this. We don't want to work harder. We want to make sure that all of your efforts are really moving in the right direction. So I'm also going to encourage you to go to hangoutwithcoachkerry.com, and Kerry is spelled Kerry, where you will see past episodes of Hangout with Coach Kerry shows, and some tools and resources that are there. And also you can go to Google Plus, and you can put me in your circles, which is Hangout with Coach Kerry. And please go and join my Google Plus community called Kerry Brown's Small Business Community. So Kerry Brown's Small Business Community. Go into communities on the left-hand side of your screen when you're in Google Plus, and search for Kerry Brown's Small Business Community. Come and join there. Share your ahas. Tell us about you, so we can. It's another opportunity for you to be able to network and connect with other like-minded people. And there'll be special offers from time to time just for my Google Plus community. So you want to be there to take advantage of those. So again, thank you so much to my panel today for sharing your questions with the audience here today, and your ahas, and challenging with some great questions. So again, have a great week. Go out and check out those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your business, and make hanging out with me a weekly habit. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kerry.
Bye, Kerry.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.